We're glad that you've joined us today. Our agenda for the next hour, we will have welcome success stories. Our main speaker, you're in for a treat, backed by popular demand, is our guest speaker today, Tamika. We'll share active job leads. We do have a recruiter here today and some other job leads we'll share. We'll have a partner update, and then we'll give you a sneak peek on what's coming up in the Central Kentucky Job Club at our next meeting. For those that are in person, we do have a professional photographer that will be here immediately following Job Club to get an updated LinkedIn photo for you. The mission of the Central Kentucky Job Club is to provide a positive environment for motivated job seekers to meet, connect, share, and learn. We meet the second and fourth Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m. In person here at the Fayette Cooperative Extension Office in Lexington, Kentucky, and also virtually. You can find more about our upcoming topics and also past recordings at our website that's listed. I'd like to introduce our facilitators and the Job Club team. I'm Caroline Francis, Director of the University of Kentucky Alumni Career Services Program. I'm joined by Diana Doggett with the Fayette Cooperative Extension Service, Amanda Shagney, Associate Director of UK Alumni Career Services, and Nicole Waite with the University of Kentucky STEP's Temporary Division. Behind the scenes, we have a whole crew of people helping us make this come together. We have Sunny Saylor and Suzanne Smith here at Extension, as well as Ellie Goodman and Grace Herring with UK Alumni Association. We are currently in a hybrid format. We're in person, as I mentioned, Zoom, and also Facebook Live. Facebook Live, you're in the view only mode, so there's no moderator or chat leads or no access to the newsletter if you're on Facebook live stream with us today. Next time, a sneak peek, we are going to offer free mock interviews for those that are in person. At the Extension office, we have recruiters and HR professionals lined up to be here to help you with in-person mock interviews for those that will be attending next time. As always, employers and recruiters are always welcome to attend Job Club. At the end, we will give you a 1-minute spotlight. We know there's lots of job opportunities out there right now, and employers are actively seeking candidates. So we hope to have employers and recruiters continue to reach out with us with their job leads. We also want to draw your attention to our free resource packet. Lots of incredible material in there to help you with your professional development and job search. Watch your emails later today for those that have registered via Zoom and those that are in person. And we will share with you job leads that have come in since last Job Club and any that we received today. We want to also call in mind that today, some people may be online or in person and conducting a confidential job search. So please be respectful of other situations that you may meet today or see in the chat box as part of our virtual opportunity. Recordings and PowerPoint slides are available at our UK website, www.ukalumni.net/job club. You can go there for past recordings, and we'll have ours posted from today as well. Welcome to first timers. We have several in the audience that are first timers. We'd like to welcome you. Also, if you're watching virtually and this is your first time, please share in the chat box if this is your first session. Good. Several are coming in. Awesome. We welcome you, and I know that you're calling in or zooming in from all over the country, not only Kentucky. So we welcome all of our virtual audience today. You can scan the QR code that's on the slide or hit the link that's in the chat box. That will get you in our system so that you'll get a notification of future job clubs. We promise not to email you information. It's simply reminders of future job club meetings. So scan that QR code or hit the link in the chat box and we'll get you in our system. Success stories. We welcome the audience to share success stories. Those also that are virtual in the chat box. Success story may have been that you've had an interview since our last job club program. Perhaps you've received a job offer, or maybe you've just reached out for a virtual coffee or submitted a few resumes to a company. If you have a success story, we include all of those things as successes. Please share those with us in the chat box now, or our audience will pass around a microphone. You won't be on camera if you're in the audience, just the microphone. Who's had an interview or stepped out of their comfort zone to reach out to an employer since last time? People are being shy today. Fill that chat box. Okay, we have a few coming in, Diana, in the chat box. Thank you for sharing.
I see a couple in the online audience here. It looks like John had a Teams interview with Toyota about a week ago. He's waiting for some feedback. And Joshua is looking for civil structural engineering jobs. Rebecca has an interview next week as well.
Oh, that's great. We wish you all the best. Be sure and follow up if you've had recent interviews. We encourage you, because of the way the job market is right now, if you have half of what the job description is asking for, and if you're interested truly in the company and the job, go ahead and apply. In the past, I would not have recommended that. In the past, I would have recommended that you had at least 80 or 90% of the requirements. But with the way the unemployment rate is, please, if there's a company or a job of interest, reach out, apply. Now's a really good time if you're underemployed or between opportunities. Now's a really good time just to reach out to companies, whether there's an opening that's posted or not. Get to know, reach out, and go for it. We really encourage you. Thank you for sharing those success stories. Now on for our speaker. Thrilled to have back by popular demand, Tamika Tompoulidis. She's a career counselor at the University of Kentucky Honors College. So sorry I butchered your last name, Tamika. Some days I can get it really well. Other days, today was not one of those days. Tamika is a certified practitioner in the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, the Strong Interest Inventory Assessment, and she holds her Global Career Development Facilitator certification from the National Career Development Association. Along with career counseling, she teaches public speaking and strategic business communication courses at the University of Kentucky. Tamika is a public speaker and presents on topics related to professional development, leadership, and managing public speaking anxieties. She has coached students and professionals in the art of connecting with audiences and effectively presenting herself. It's been a pleasure to be a longtime colleague of Tamika's, and she also is in the Lexington Chamber of Commerce Leadership Lexington class, and she serves on the board of the Kentucky Career Development Association. Please help me in welcoming Tamika.
Okay. Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? I got a thumbs up from Amanda. Awesome. Like Caroline mentioned, my name is Tamika Tompoulidis. I know the last name is a little difficult. It's Greek, but you know, As the saying goes, it's all Greek to me, and I understand that. What I'm going to be presenting on today are a couple of tips and strategies on how to enhance your LinkedIn profile, but also how to understand what networking on LinkedIn really means and what that looks like in today's society. We're going to do a quick little overview because I know some people like to know, well, what is it that I'm going to be learning? What are the contents included? We're going to talk a little bit about personal branding because it's definitely important when you are developing your LinkedIn profile. The purpose of LinkedIn, how to glow up your profile. So I'm all about trying to design and make it stand out. Connecting authentically, looking at a couple of LinkedIn options that LinkedIn offers to any client that's interested. And of course, doing a Q&A towards the end. And I will have a couple of questions that I will ask the audience, whether you are on Zoom. And I'm looking at Amanda right now. I'm like, you're the Zoom people. And then those in the audience today. So that's why I recommend if you have a paper and pen, or if you want to type out some of these notes or responses to the questions, please feel free. But other than that, just sit back and relax. When you look into a mirror, and I'm sure many of you did that this morning, what do you see? Other than the physical features of maybe crazy bedhead and tired eyes, you may see a little bit more of yourself, your identity. Some of you may see yourself as that go-to friend that people run to for advice. Others may be a parent or a guardian that may have to take care of a lot of different responsibilities on a day-to-day basis. Or maybe you're a student going back to school and you're trying to work towards that final degree. Whatever it may be, when we look in the mirror, we see something more than just what the eye meets. We see a little bit of identity, but oftentimes we may not realize that that identity is also shown with other people that we interact with on a day-to-day basis. So when you think about yourself looking in that mirror, I want you to also think about how does this relate to how you connect with others and essentially brand yourself to the public. And what I mean by that is that personal brand. We all identify with some sort of either a personality, a value, a trait that we offer. And it's good to understand what your personal brand is, so that way when you walk out for the morning walk or wherever you are going to, you have an understanding of what people see in you. Your personal brand is going to make up of your values, things that interest you, things that are true to yourself, to your heart. They're going to be your strengths, things that you know that you have worked on over years and you've mastered. It's going to be something creative as well, something that you've crafted over time, whether it's through work, through volunteering, through school. But it's also going to be something that you learn over time. So as you begin to get more experience, interact with people, your personal brand may start to change a little bit, and that's okay. But as long as you continue to focus on what that brand, how you see yourself, it's going to be easier to not only connect with others and kind of answer the question of tell me a little bit about yourself, but also how you portray yourself online. We understand that our personal brand may kind of change from time to time. We've seen most recently with the unemployment rates and people losing those jobs that they have had for multiple years. And sometimes we may kind of sit back and think, well, who am I now? If I don't have this job or if I don't have this opportunity, how do I go about my day and talk about what I do and who I am? So that mirror may start to look a little bit foggy at times, and that's okay. What you have to remind yourself is that the mirror that you see, how you view yourself, is not always going to be permanent. It can always be changing. It may require just some time to kind of brush off some of those old skills that maybe you want to bring back up, or erasing kind of the negative image that you may see yourself when you look in a mirror. But it also could mean a rebuild. Sometimes when we go through a change in our lives, we are not sure kind of how we move forward or how we portray ourselves to the public. And it may just mean, hey, I just need to rebuild who I am, my identity, and start from scratch, which for some people may kind of be a refreshing experience. But I understand that for others, it may kind of feel a little challenging. So whether you're wiping off kind of those old skills or rebuilding new, all of this is going to play into, again, your personal brand. Like I mentioned earlier, I will be asking a few questions that you can kind of answer to yourself, or if you would like to share later on with your neighbor when we do our Q&A, please feel free. But what I want you to do is just take a moment and identify at least 3 key words that you feel like would describe yourself. These could be words that maybe someone has told you. So maybe someone has come up to you and said, you're such a great listener. I always feel like I can comprehend and understand everything that you're saying because you're actually listening to my thoughts and my feelings and so forth. It could be any kind of current involvement or online presence. I know a lot of people nowadays are trying to glam up any profile that they showcase online. So how do you portray yourself online? How do you portray yourself when you are in a room filled with people? So kind of think of these instances, kind of think about your past experiences and try to come up right now with 3 words that you want others to identify you with. When I think about my personal brand, I know I keep talking about it, so I'm sure people are like, well, what's yours? What are kind of your keywords? It's definitely taken a while to develop, and it continues to change year by year, just based on kind of what I'm doing and what I'm getting involved with. You all have heard my bio, so a lot of the things that I mention in my bio really do relate to how I brand myself professionally. So first and foremost, I am a career counselor. I work with honors college students at the University of Kentucky. I'm an instructor. I've actually been teaching for quite a few years now in the communications department, and that's actually where I graduated from UK. I do a lot of public speaking. So over time, I've noticed that I've really enjoyed public speaking. I did it a lot when I was younger, and I tried to figure out ways to continue to do public speaking as almost like my little side gig. I was never into music. I mean, I love music, but I'm definitely not a musician. So I kind of tell people this is kind of like my little gig that I like to do for fun. And then also leadership. And most recently, like Caroline had mentioned, I got involved with Leadership Lexington. I'm also part of the Kentucky Career Development Association. So when I think about my professional brand, I think about instances that I've done in the past, experiences that I'm doing right now, but I also kind of hear from others and what they kind of give feedback to me about some of my work experience as well. So again, this type of personal brand is going to be developed over time. It's going to be changing, but the more you kind of work on it, the easier it's going to be to kind of let people know who you are. And of course, that's how it's going to help you develop your LinkedIn profile. Just by show of hands and eyes, how many of you all have a LinkedIn profile? Many of you, as you should. Good, good, good. And the LinkedIn profile, as I'm sure many of you already know, it's pretty much self-explanatory as to how you enter in the information and so forth, but it's really how you use it and how often that will really make you stand out from the crowd and find those job opportunities. When you're building your profile, there's a couple more questions that I want you to kind of ask yourself. How much do you want to connect with others on LinkedIn? Some people use LinkedIn and say, yeah, I have it, but I really don't interact with anyone. And so then I ask them, well, I mean, is this a platform that you're going to be using in order to connect? How much time do you want to dedicate? In the past, I used to ask people, well, tell me, do you spend, once a week, every day, once a month? And I would get a variety of responses. What are your goals? Again, when you use LinkedIn, there's a variety of different ways that you can use it for your goals, whether it's for job searching, networking. What is one professional accomplishment you want people to know about? I think sometimes people get so caught up in the LinkedIn format that they think, oh, it's just an online resume. But really, it's a way for you to also communicate some of the great accomplishments you've done. So if you kind of think back to your past work experience, try to remember what was one accomplishment that you really want people to know about, that you should showcase on there. And finally, it's all about bringing the best version of you. I know some people say, well, I don't really have that much in my LinkedIn profile. I don't really do a lot. So I feel like it's not really going to be beneficial to me. But really, it's an art form. It's creating something that you have developed over time that you kind of craft into the minds of others that are reading it. So this is kind of what I want you all to think moving forward is how are you going to craft your LinkedIn profile to be the best version of who you are right now? First and foremost, when you have a LinkedIn, you're going to need a professional headshot, which thankfully we will have some professional headshots going on today, which is awesome. When you're thinking about your headshot, there's a couple of different characteristics, a couple of different traits you need to kind of keep in mind, making sure there's no shadows, you have a natural smile, hair is pulled out of the way, there are no kind of, bling or any kind of loud, fashionable jewelry as well that might be distracting. And then, of course, having a professional outfit. I always tell people, think of the outfit that you would wear if you were to go into an interview, for instance, or if you research online and you see a couple of other professionals and their headshots, that might give you some inspiration as to what color schemes to use and what outfits to wear. Once you've developed what your headshot is going to look like, the next and one of the most important features is your headline. That headline is just similar to what you would see a headline like in a newspaper. It's something that's eye-catching. It's something that it will draw people in to actually want to read a little bit more about you. For that headline, again, it's going to be located right underneath your picture. And it's going to be actually the very first thing that people will see. So they see your picture, they see your name, and then those next few words are really going to be important for you in order to showcase, again, your personal brand, but also how others will find you. So a couple of suggestions on what to include in a headline are keywords for searches. If you are currently searching for employment, you may want to consider what are kind of those keywords that you may need to include in your profile for recruiters to find you. And I'm going to show some examples here in a bit. Job title. So again, if you are still currently working or if you're working part-time, some people may include that job title, but anything that really defines you. So again, that's going back to those keywords. It's going back to what are kind of the professional characteristics you have that you want people to know. Here are a couple of examples for keywords for searches. If you, let's say, were a sales rep and maybe you're looking for distribution opportunities. So it can be as simple as sales rep because you know that's a key word when you're looking for jobs. And you specify, well, exactly in what areas are you going to be working in sales? If you're currently looking for a job, you can include how many years experience you've had, let's say, working in human resources. So if you're trying to find a human resources job, make sure you have that keyword in your profile. Again, digital ads manager. So a lot of these keywords, as you're seeing, are either words that are found in a job description, or they include how many years experience that you have. So these are just options. These aren't the end all be all. And I can go on and on about so many different ways to format your headline, but these are just a few examples. When I mentioned, okay, look at the keyword searches, what I also recommend doing is as you are looking for jobs, start kind of playing around with the different words used in whatever field that you are searching for. So for this example, if you were to look at, let's say, digital sales, digital media, you may need the term digital. You'll need the term either manager, sales. And as you continue to look online and look at all these jobs, you'll start to see a lot of different forms of a job title. So I always recommend, whatever job is out there, you want to match with what you have on your profile. Of course, the heart of the LinkedIn is that body. So once you've developed kind of what your profile is going to be, your headline, then you're going to develop mainly the work experience, but it's actually a little bit more than that. So yes, you will include all of the different past jobs that you've held into your LinkedIn profile, but there's a couple of other sections that I think need to have a little bit of love too. Your honors and awards. If you've ever received any type of award, whether you did some volunteering or from work, definitely include that. Sometimes people forget to include those awards and recognitions. Any projects or skills, and I'm going to talk about the skills section here in a bit, but for projects, if you worked on something just really impressive as a team, if you have any documentation, if it was advertised, make sure you include that. Your education is going to be important. If you are part of the UK Alumni Association, you will also be connected to other UK alumni members who can also give you introductions to informational interviews and so forth. Volunteering experience is definitely included. Some people forget that when you are volunteering, you are also using some key skills that can also be applied to jobs. So make sure you add those. And then the summary. And I'm going to come back to that summary section because that's also a key one to keep in mind. When you're looking at your LinkedIn profile, towards the top, there's going to be a space for you to have any kind of featured items. So here on the left, you'll see that under featured, you can include, let's say, a post that you created in the past that got a lot of likes, a lot of recognition. It could be maybe you were mentioned in the newspaper, in the news. So anytime you have something that really showcases your accomplishments, your achievements, LinkedIn will allow you to actually bring that up towards the top. So it's actually one of the first things that people see on your profile. You will also see a skills and endorsement section. When you go onto LinkedIn, it will allow you to select a couple of skills that you feel are your strong suits. So maybe you're great at grant writing or PowerPoint presentation or leadership, all of these different kind of hot topic keywords. If you put them into your profile, then other people who view your LinkedIn profile can endorse you for those. And that will definitely show others that are looking at your profile saying, yeah, this person really actually is great at doing some grant writing. And one other feature that I didn't include here, but is also something that people have been using, are the recommendations. So you can ask kindly someone to say, hey, I know I did a project for you in the past. Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity. Would you mind actually writing me a kind recognition or recommendation on my profile? It's a very simple process. You send them a recommendation. They type on there saying, so-and-so did a fantastic job helping us with this project in our community. They worked well together. They were attentive. And it's basically a great way for people to kind of look at, references, so to speak, that talk positively about you. So it's not common for people to say, well, I feel a little intimidated to ask. I'm not sure. You can always return the favor and say, well, how can I support you? If you write me this, how can I support you in your business? Or maybe I can write one for you as well. So that's also something to kind of keep in mind. How do you fill the gap when you feel like a lot of the experiences that you have on your LinkedIn are from the past? This is a question that I actually get most often when people are kind of in between jobs, or they just recently lost a job and now they're trying to figure out, well, how am I going to rebrand myself on LinkedIn? You can volunteer. There's so many ways to volunteer, not just in the community, but even for businesses. I've seen people, go into a business and say, I'll work on your social media campaign if you need someone to help you with that. Find any kind of temporary work. I know at UK we have our UK Steps program. So if you need something just temporarily to get by, that's also still a great way to build into your profile. Take classes. Sometimes this is a great way to actually go back to school or take a course and try to develop your professionalism skills. And then finally, that side gig. So maybe you've always dreamed of owning a bakery, but now is that time that you can say, well, I can kind of bake some cakes or do any kind of wedding cookies. I have a friend that's kind of doing that right now. And that's something that they may be doing for the time being until they get back into the work that they were trying to find. So these are a couple of examples to add to your profile if you feel like you just don't have anything going on right now. And so when you're adding to that content, so again, going back and kind of reflecting and writing to yourself, what was the last project that you worked on that was a success? And then where have you volunteered? What were some of those organizations? So this is kind of reminding you to think back to times that you have done some work outside of maybe your typical full-time job and add that into that profile. I mentioned that another part of that LinkedIn profile is the summary section. And the summary is basically a description of all of your skills consolidated into one spot. It's kind of like a summary that you would find on the back of a book, so to speak. When people are trying to work on their summaries, it may feel a little intimidating because it's just a blank spot that you can type anything in. So a couple of suggestions. Describe your passions, explain your current position if you are in there, highlight your successes, and include rich media. All this is saying is to highlight, again, going back to that personal brand, what really defines you? What are those accomplishments that you are proud of that you really want people to know? Thinking back to those past job experience that you've had. If you've worked at this job for multiple years and have a lot of great experience, add that into the summary. Essentially, what you are answering when it comes to that summary are what makes you unique, what are kind of the different services or data that you can provide, and then what are your values and achievements? For those of you that are very much data-driven and love to showcase the numbers, this is your time to shine. Show them kind of the numbers that you have worked with in the past. How many grants have you written before? What types of projects have you done? These can all be added into that summary section that, again, will be featured towards the top that people will notice before they even get to the body of the LinkedIn profile. Now going on. So once you kind of developed your profile, you have all the things set. It's time to finally network. And again, I know some people say, well, sometimes I use it to talk to people, but I'm not really quite sure as to who to connect with. And there's a variety of different areas. Think back on your alma mater, think back of school, University of Kentucky. This is a great way to connect with alumni. Think about people that you've worked with or been in organizations and volunteered. These are the types of people that you really want to reconnect with and have someone that will say, yes, I've worked with them, we worked well together, and I can vouch and support them. Any type of personal connections. My mom follows me on LinkedIn. Even though she's retired, she still feels like she's a professional contact on there. But you never know as to what extended family member might have an opportunity for you later down the road. And then recently met. LinkedIn has, in my opinion, become the new business card. Whenever in the past, if you wanted to meet with someone, you had a business card. And I know we still have them now. I have some here. And you give them a business card and you hope that they contact you. Well, now that a lot of the things are being digital, the way to connect with them is to go onto LinkedIn, find their name, and connect. This is honestly the great way for you to actually meet new people if you've already done kind of the rest that are listed on here. But what I'm also going to discuss is how do you connect with people that either you recently met or people that you haven't met quite yet, but you really want to get to know them. So again, going back to kind of your own self-reflection right now, who do you need to connect or reconnect with? I honestly want you to actually write down names of people that you really want to connect with on LinkedIn that maybe you haven't, or you've connected with them, but you haven't followed up and discussed with them anything. Ask yourself, why do you want to connect with them? What is it about who they are that will help you get to where you need to be? Sometimes they may have a job lead that you may want to discuss with them, or it could be you just need someone to give you that support to build up your strengths and your confidence moving forward. And then finally, when do you plan on reaching out? I used to have people say that they would actually go into their calendar and they would actually block out a set of time to say, I'm going to email so-and-so today, or I'm going to call them and we're going to meet up for coffee so we can talk. So I want you to take some time and do that right now. When are you going to reach out to them? And what blocks of time do you have for this coming week that you would want to connect? While you're networking on LinkedIn, again, it's a great way to connect with people that you know, but if you are a little bit intimidated to kind of connect with people you don't know, that is okay. It's normal to feel a little bit nervous because again, it's just like meeting someone new for the first time. And for some people, that can be really hard. When you don't know them personally, one of the greatest things that LinkedIn has to offer is that it gives you the option to actually send a note to someone and kind of either reintroduce yourself if it's been a while since you've last spoken, or if you recently met, and again, sometimes people have a hard time remembering names and who they are, kindly kind of remind them and say, hey, like I saw you at Job Club, my name is so-and-so, we chatted a little bit, it was so nice to meet you, I would love to connect, and maybe we can continue our conversation for coffee sometime this week. This can even be a great way if you've never met someone before and you really want to connect, tell them how you found them. Maybe you saw that they graduated from the University of Kentucky and you say, hey, I'm looking at this position. I noticed that you worked there. I also graduated from the University of Kentucky. Would you mind meeting with me? Because I would love to talk to you about this position I just saw on LinkedIn for your company. So there's a lot of different variations to connect, but always, always, always tell people, make sure you send a note because that is how you can increase your chances of them accepting you versus without a note and people saying, I don't know who this is, and they decline. If you really want to test out your connections, I encourage you to go further than just your first level connection. So on LinkedIn, it'll actually show you whether or not you are connected to this person based on that first degree. That first degree is either going to be you've worked at the same place, you graduated from the same area, or you have a lot of the shared connections. When you are trying to network, it's actually best if you go for that second and third degrees. The reason being is because they could actually offer you even more opportunity and chances to kind of see what is out there. It's kind of like when I tell people, if you are a musician and you play a guitar at a local bar or a restaurant, that's great. A lot of people probably in the area know you in Lexington, but you really start to get that stardom when you go playing in Kentucky. and now you're playing across the United States, and now you're playing, internationally. That's the same way when you think about LinkedIn. So how do you find those second and third degree connections? Go to that first degree. So go to the person that maybe you've known very well as a colleague of yours. Look on their list and see who they are connected with. And maybe that person that they have a connection with might be your ticket into your next potential job. Maybe they work for a company that you find really interesting. You really want to learn a little bit more. So reach out to them and, of course, send them that note. Let them know, hey, we are connected with so-and-so. I noticed you're working for this company. I would love to learn a little bit more about what you do. So that's essentially how you can connect to that second and third degree people. How you engage on LinkedIn is also important. So after you've kind of connected with people, after you've developed your LinkedIn profile, now you actually need to be active. So what does that mean? Liking and commenting on people's posts. People are going to be posting on LinkedIn quite often if you're on there every day. So if you notice that they posted a great article, show them that you've read it. Comment on any kind of accomplishment that they've made. So congratulate people on new positions. You can ask for an informational interview. So I know you all are going to be discussing interviews later on, but an informational interview is just a way for you to sit down, talk to someone, and ask them a little bit about what they do, how they got into their role. And that gives you a little bit of an insight as to what you need to do in order to get to that next level. So this is a great way for you to do that. If you're noticing content that they're producing, you find that interesting, ask them to sit down and chat. And then you can also share and write your own content. So that's what I mean earlier, that when you are at that point where you either are out of a job or you don't have something going on, this is a way for you to create things. So if you have become an expert in some sort of category just based on what your last experience was, share some articles that relate to what you've done, or even create some of your own. What's nice about LinkedIn is it allows you to kind of be your own author, so you can produce some content, and that's how people will start to see you as that expert in whatever category you kind of design yourself to be in, and they will start coming to you for some advice and opportunities. As you are developing your LinkedIn profile and as you're kind of sharing your content, some people may ask, well, is it worth kind of going up the next level, doing that LinkedIn premium? I've gotten that question a couple of times. And personally, it's really just based on how much financially you want to dedicate to yourself and how you want to develop professionally, and whether or not you feel like these resources that LinkedIn offers is going to be beneficial to you. LinkedIn Premium offers a variety of different resources that the free account may not necessarily offer as much. So first and foremost, it gives you an opportunity to kind of see how your skills and experience match up to a job that maybe you have found on LinkedIn. So it gives you actually kind of like a rating scale and saying if you match well for the job that is being posted on LinkedIn. It also gives you an opportunity to get your application up a little bit higher than others. So they say that if you have the LinkedIn Premium, you're going to be a little more visible on LinkedIn for recruiters, and it's also going to show you the profile view. So if people have been viewing your profile, you'll be able to see, well, who has been looking on my LinkedIn profile, but it also gives you the opportunity to dig a little bit deeper as to, well, how many applicants have applied to this job and how do I compare? And then finally, it also gives you the opportunity for in-mail. So some of the recruiters that may be on LinkedIn, there's only going to be a certain amount of messages that you can send on LinkedIn to a certain person. So with LinkedIn Premium, it actually gives you a few more options to send more messages to either HR professionals or recruiters that you're trying to reach. So those are kind of the features. Obviously, there will be a fee involved. However, LinkedIn does give you a 1 month free trial. So if you are really interested in doing this, and if you're saying, you know, I'm really in the heart of, or in the heat of applying to jobs and looking at jobs, it may be worth it just for that 1 month to see how things go. And if you want to continue it, great. If not, you can always just cancel before it begins to charge you. And finally, there's no I in network. So again, you're going through there, maybe you got that LinkedIn Premium, you're doing everything that you can, but you have to remember that when you are trying to connect either to recruiters or connecting with other professionals, you can't always be thinking, well, what's going to be in it for me? It's hard for us to not go into that because, again, we're looking at opportunities that will help us professionally. But we have to remember that networking is kind of a give and take, so to speak. This quote is one that I found that really has resonated when I try to think about, well, what is networking compared to? And it's like building a friendship or building a relationship. If you go into a relationship or a friendship and you're thinking, well, I'm just doing this for my own personal benefit, and it's all about what you can gain from that friendship, then you're really not developing a strong connection, because you also have to reciprocate and be either that friend, that partner back to the person. And so this quote by Dale Carnegie says, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. And so that's why when you are connecting, when you're networking, try to invest time and yes, on how you're going to develop yourself, but how are you going to help that other person? How are you going to benefit and enrich their lives as well? And so that is why when you are going on LinkedIn, don't just go on there, post information about yourself and just sit back and relax and hope someone will contact you. Engage, like others' posts, share others' posts, talk to other people, because the more you kind of help others, the more they will also reciprocate and help you as well. So going back to that mirror, well, now that you've kind of had a chance to really think about your profile, think about what it is you are going to be portraying yourself, I hope that you don't have any of these kind of negative thoughts going into it, but kind of thinking of a way that this mirror can represent something truly inspiring for you moving forward. And so I leave with you with this quote. And I know when it comes to mirrors, I also think of the Snow White, quote, mirror, mirror on the wall. And so I kind of did a little bit of a variation to that quote. So instead, we go, mirror, mirror on the wall, I always get up after I fall. And whenever I run, walk, or crawl, I'll set my goals and achieve them all. I hope as you move forward in your professional journey that you do take some time to think about what are the goals that you want to reach and how that no matter what you go through, no matter what challenge you experience, that yes, you may have to crawl, you may have to walk, but eventually you'll get to that run. And that concludes my presentation. So, but I do want to offer a chance for any questions that have come in on Zoom and also in the audience as well.
So I've been in a career for 25 years in one field, unemployed currently. If I am trying to reinvent myself, don't necessarily want to go back to what I was doing before, how do you manage that on LinkedIn when everybody that you know and you see is everybody you've connected with for 25 years in the same field? What's the best advice for that?
That's a great question. Anytime you feel like you have to kind of reinvent, or maybe that image, that identity that you had before is now going to change, that's where I say, well, before you start on LinkedIn, try to gain either some sort of experience or opportunity that will lead to kind of that next stage you want to go into. Whether that's doing like those informational interviews with people that you want to kind of be with and start to get to know that population, volunteering or trying to go to events for maybe those companies or organizations and kind of show them that you're trying to be a part of that new kind of population or industry that you want to tap into. And the more you start doing that and connecting, the more you'll be able to connect with people on there. But that's kind of the beauty of that summary section I mentioned, is you can write whatever it is you want and you can kind of craft that image for people to kind of understand you. So if you're trying to tap into something new, you can write into that summary saying, this is kind of what I'm working on. This is who I am. But at the same time, it's going to take some work, taking some classes, volunteering, connecting, and then that's how you'll be able to also put it into your LinkedIn. And lastly, start with those connections. So even the people that you have connected with in the past, see who they are connected to, and then see how you can connect with them. So you're not really losing those past connections, but they're going to help you introduce you to kind of new connections as well.
Any other?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tamika. I'm writing furiously notes of changes to make and to take a revisit to my LinkedIn. And we appreciate so much you sharing today. All right. Well, we're going to move on and share job leads that the audience might have today. So if there's any online, if you would go to the chat box and state those for us, we will share those with our in-person audience, as well as it'll be obvious on the screen for Zoom. Do we have any job leads, employers with active job leads? If you are present today, and we do have someone who would like to share with us, Courtney Brown, and she is with CMI. So Courtney, would you like to share some job leads from your organization?
Sure. I'm with CMI Consulting, and we are a human resources and consulting firm here in Lexington. We have a vast variety of just different jobs that we have available. If you want to, you can visit our website, cmiconsulting.com. And I would love to go ahead and get anybody's resume that they want to submit to me. They can email it to me at courtney@cmiconsulting.com. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So that information will be in an email following today's presentation. So that's just one of the job leads that we will feature in that newsletter. Any employer that does have job leads, please send those to us by noon today at UK Alumni Career at uky.edu, and we will include them in that post-meeting job lead list. And now it's time for us to share some job clubs, facilitators, news, and programs. And I'll begin with Cooperative Extension with the University of Kentucky. And I am Dinah Doggett, the Family Consumer Sciences Agent. And within Fayette County, I do want to bring to your attention a couple of programs that are upcoming in October. And one is the GAP conference, which is Grandparents as Parents. We are so excited that we are offering that again this year. It's turned into more or less a statewide conference. It's for relatives and caregivers that are filling in the gap for children. So that conference will take place on October the 21st. And we would welcome you to share this information to anyone who is in need of resources, information, financial, parenting. Our featured speaker is a renowned national authority on bullying. So he will be giving some wonderful information on anger that is up on the uprise, especially during our pandemic. So October 21st, go to the Fayette County website or gapofkentucky.com, and you can register $10 for that conference. Another program that I want to mention is October the 27th. That will be hybrid. It will be virtual as well as in person at the Fayette County office. And it'll be entitled Kitchen Tools and Gadgets on Your Wish List. So, holidays are approaching, Christmas and holiday gifts. So you might be wanting to consider what's good and what's worth its value in gift giving and even for personal use. So that's October the 27th. We'll give some more information, but go to Fayette County Extension website and we'll get some, we can register you for that program. I do just invite you to visit your local extension office social media web pages for the programming that will take place in your county throughout Kentucky, because we know that lots of fall programs are planned and going to be delivered, and you won't want to miss out. And now we have Nicole Waite, and she is sharing with us a lot of update from the University of Kentucky STEPS program. Nicole? Hey, can you guys hear me okay? Everyone can hear me? Okay, great. Okay, and hello to everyone online.
If this is your first time coming to Job Club, once again, I'm Nicole Waite. I work in employment at the University of Kentucky in our temporary employment office. And we have several jobs, no surprise at all right now. So I'll just go ahead and go down the list. Normally I do stick those in the chat box. And so what we'll do is I'll send these jobs to Amanda and she'll send these out today by noon. Okay. Okay. So the first job that we have, and I do want to mention that all the jobs that I'm going to list are full-time jobs, full-time positions, I should say. We have several warehouse positions on campus as well as healthcare, but we actually have an engineering recruiter position, medical assistants, entrance screeners, administrative. We have an administrative assistant and a staff support associate position open. Let's see here, employee records clerk, testing data analyst, a marketing promotions specialist, and a GME philanthropy researcher. Believe that is all of the featured jobs, but there are several more. We have about 100 jobs open, a little more than that, but these are some of our featured jobs, some that will be closing soon. So if you guys are interested in applying for jobs or even looking at the other jobs here in steps, you may visit uky.edu/jobs, and there will be a tab there. And you can click on the temporary employment tab. I like to mention, don't want to fail to mention that temporary employment is a great way to get your foot in the door at the University of Kentucky. And not only a great way to get your foot in the door at the University of Kentucky, but it's a great way to gain experience, as mentioned in the presentation today, kind of building up those skills, building up your resume, things like that. So definitely take advantage of that. All righty. Thank you. All righty, Carolyn.
As we're closing out Job Club today, please share in the chat box some of your takeaways from today's excellent session by Tamika Tompoulidis. Thank you so much, Tamika. Awesome presentation. I always learn from you. So I have homework to do a few more things to my LinkedIn profile, but flood that chat box with thanks and takeaways from today's presentation. With Alumni Career Services, members of the UK, active and life members of the UK Alumni Association are eligible for 2 free individual career counseling sessions each year. You do not have to be a graduate or have attended UK to join the Alumni Association and take advantage of one-on-one career counseling. We also have many programs and events coming up. Later in October, we have Career Management Week. More details to be posted on that soon, but a whole week of career management resources and great sessions that is free. We hope that you will join us for that. In November, which is National Career Development Month, we have 2 wonderful programs regarding encore careering and making those encore careering transitions in lifestyle and work. And we're very excited to be able to offer those programs in November. Next time on Job Club, October the 12th, we invite you to come in person. For those that do not live locally, you can certainly join us by Zoom. Sarah Pitt, VP Human Resources with Association Internationals, and Alex Howard, they are going to be presenting on interviewing. Their topic, Zoom through your next interview. Again, we will also have free mock interviews in person after our next Job Club meeting. Today, at the close of our meeting, after we go off screen for our in-person attendees, we're going to be available for networking and also to help you practice your 30-second commercial. You'll also be able to have your LinkedIn photos, professional headshots taken. Any feedback on the chat box? All right, we'll close out for today. Have a great day and good luck in your search.